not an actual job in the way of making an income. And so I started branching off. I honestly wanted to run my own. We're going to go into fears and misconceptions. I was very hesitant to join Beachbody. I was for some time. I sort of had a bad taste in my mouth about just that kind of stuff, MLMs, just all of it in general. And I was very apprehensive to do this. So I actually planned on opening my own online thing, to be honest with you. And as I started to dive into it all, I was like, oh man, I'm not gonna have the nutrition part of it because that's actually an area I lack in. I'm way better with the workouts. I lack in the nutrition. Courtney picks up in the nutrition part for me. But that's the amazing thing is I joining this platform was giving all the resources I needed for my customers to have the whole entire package instead of just workouts. Because if I was doing it, they were going to just get workouts. Because I don't have the fitness, I don't have the nutrition background, I don't have any of that. And so joining a platform like this gave me all the resources that my clients needed so they could all be successful. And then not only that, but then you join a team of coaches that, oh, by the way, someone's good at fitness, someone's good at nutrition. So you text someone, like I text Courtney all the time, is like, hey, I have a friend asking, literally, I had a girl yesterday asking about Starbucks drinks and which ones were healthier and whatever. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't drink Starbucks. I just don't like coffee. And so that's when you phone a friend. And that's what I love about this is we're all in it with each other and we all want each other to do well and be successful. It's never been a competition because we don't have the same network. And even when we do, one of my very best friends that I went to high school with, coaches with me, we cheer together my whole life. We still have the same network of friends, but it's still completely different, right? Our networks are still so different. So that's the cool area of this is just being able to give people all the resources that they need. And you don't have to be experts in any of those areas because guess what? Beachbody has experts in all of those areas. So that's sort of my story. And I will say the one thing that, I was going to touch on, I don't know if this is the right time or not, but I think it's been neat also to see just the growth that is so possible in the first year, 2 years of a business like this. If you were to actually go start your own business, most businesses don't start making tons of income until they're 5 years into it. And to be able to be at a place that I'm almost practically replacing my income that I was making in Texas as a teacher is insane. And I'm only a year into this. I can't imagine what is possible in 5 years because I'm already at a place that I'm almost, copying what I was making in Texas teaching. So anyways, I'm going to jump over to Courtney and let her tell her a little bit of the story and then we'll dive into the different areas of coaching.
Okay, and I'm doing it kind of the ghetto version because I was like, well, I'll just record on my phone because I know there's a couple girls really wanting it. So I was like, I'm just gonna record, so I'm just gonna hold the phone right here.
Perfect.
Okay, so as I'll just hold the phone right there. Okay, so I'm Courtney Smith, and I've been doing the business. In July, it was 2 years, so a little over 2 years. I am a full-time teacher. My background right now is I went to school to be a dietitian. So I actually did my undergrad in nutrition and I went to do my master's in dietetics, and I am actually a registered dietitian as well. And in high school, I became a personal trainer because I was like, I don't know if I want to do personal training, nutrition. I wanted to be in health. Quickly figured out that to be a personal trainer, you had to work when everybody else was not working. So crack of dawn or dinner time after dinner. And I was like, that's not the right thing for me. So that's when I decided to become a dietitian. And I was a dietitian at a hospital for a couple years, but it wasn't what I expected it. I actually worked with cancer patients. But the good thing, so there's a lot of different avenues that you can do as a dietitian, and obviously that was not the avenue for me. I wanted to more be in the weight loss, the health aspect of it. Fast forward a couple years, couldn't find a dietitian job once we moved. So I just became a teacher for the flexible schedule and all that stuff. But 6 months in, I was like, okay, I like this because I am a teacher. I am the, hold on, my dog wants in. Hold on. I'm going to have to take my video camera with me. Heavens. Come on. I mean, if it's not the kids, it's the dog, right? Okay. So 6 months into teaching, I was like, all right, I like teaching because essentially that's what a dietitian does. They teach, right? Or a trainer. But I was like, I miss big people, normal people. And I really miss helping people like get their lives back in order with health and fitness. So I started researching, and guys, this was 4 years ago. I started researching, maybe five, almost close to 5. And because it was around December, so probably 5. And I actually reached out to a Beachbody coach, and she gave me information and all this stuff. And I was just like, not the right time, whatever. But then I always followed all these Beachbody coaches because it was always like, not the right time. But I always had that creeping wonder in my head. I was like, is it like, why do I keep seeing Beachbody coaches pop up along my feed, or like somehow or another, like I always tended to see them. And I was like, why does it keep coming up? And it wasn't until probably 2 years after that is when a girl from college, my upline right now, she started showing some of her workouts. And I think it was probably like the first week that she started showing workouts that I saw that. And I was like, oh my God, are you a Beachbody coach? And she said, yes, I am. And I was like, even more intrigued, because at the time it was kind of like those other Beachbody coaches that I saw were like these people I didn't know, these people who were like top of the company. And I was like, okay, this is something that only like the unicorns of the world could do. And so I think that was the biggest hesitation. I was like, I just don't see anybody that's normal, that has like, that's a mom, do this, you know? And I was like, could I do this? Or is it just for those people that have these huge Instagram stories and all this kinds of stuff? And so when I saw my friend doing it, I was like, okay, you're more in my league. Like, okay, let's talk. And I asked her about that, but it wasn't until 9 months later that I finally was like, okay, all of these things keep popping up. I keep watching you. I always check your stories every single day. I always look to see what you're doing. I would beat myself in the butt if I don't try it, if I don't say yes and see what happens. So so guys, full round, that was probably 3-4 years that I wondered. 3 or 4 years that I watched and just waited for the perfect timing, waited for that sign and that kinds of things. And obviously whatever you want to say, I probably did get a sign, but I'm like, I now beat myself up about it, because I'm like, what would I have done? I would have been in it for like 6 years by now. So imagine where I would be now. But anyways, I know God has perfect timing for everything. So, but of course I had all of these hesitations. Like, can I do it? Like, am I that person? Do I have enough social media? Like, I don't even know what to do with social media. Like, I don't post anything but my kids like once or 2 times a month. Like, I don't have a lot of followers. I don't have this flashy life that everybody wants to see and watch. Like, all of these things were going in my mind, and those are the things that held me back. And finally, I just had to let go of it. I was like, if I had this burning desire in me that I was like, but can I do it? And that just totally started to outweigh all of those doubts that I started having. And the thing is, I had done Beachbody workouts in high school with my dad. I had done them when I was doing my master's. Well, there was like 6 month period between my undergrad and my master's, where I was a personal trainer and actually a manager of a gym. Like, I was like a gym rat, guys. And I remember doing P90X, which is a Beachbody workout, and then going to work at the gym. Beachbody workouts, I had done them and I was exposed to them, and I knew I loved them, and I knew I'd saw results with them. And I think that's the thing too. Like, a lot of these girls on here like love the workouts right now. Like, you're doing the programs and you love the products. And for me, it was like I had started I have a long story, man. About 6 months in, before I started coaching, I had started the Beachbody workouts with another coach. And I don't think Christine even knows this. Not even with Teresa. And I started and I stopped and I started and I stopped. And finally I was like, that's when I like reached out to Teresa. I was like, I've just got to do this coaching thing because I need to be more consistent with my workouts. And if I need to show up for everybody else, I would 100% show up for myself. Because I think that's also another big hesitation of people is like, I'm not in the best shape of my life. Like, guys, and more of my long story. A month after I signed up to be a coach, I found out I was pregnant with my third kid. So I'm like, this is cool. Like, let's get, bigger because you get pregnant, right? Let's get bigger while I'm trying to help other people. But actually it was like the best thing in the world. So all in all, I have this big long story. I was a gym rat. I had doubts. I wasn't in the best shape of my life. I was pregnant when I first started coaching. So it's not, so people think that you have to have the right timing to start coaching. Mine was the absolute, if on paper, you would have thought it was the absolute worst timing. But God knew what he was doing, and it was the absolute best timing because I wouldn't have worked out during pregnancy. Gabby's on here, and she just rocked it while she was pregnant, and like I wouldn't have been like her at all. So these workouts totally saved me. So that's my story. I mean, it's a long story, but there you go.
So you've already been sort of touching on it. Let's skip to fears and misconceptions and then go to time commitment.
Okay.
So with the fears and misconceptions, Courtney's already sort of began to touch on those. I think the biggest thing that we hear from everyone is, well, I don't have a lot of followers on Instagram, or I don't Instagram, or whatever. Guys, I had 400 followers when I started. I know Courtney is the same story.
Yep, 400.
Literally 400.
Yeah.
And I never had posted to stories in my life. Like, I had never posted stories in my life. I never had one story posted. And I actually posted like to my feed maybe 4 times a year. Like, literally that's it. And I honestly, when I started this business, which to this day, my close friends would tell you, they were like, who is this person? Because when I first started this business, I was like, all the people that are close to me are going to be like, who are you? You've never storied in your life, and you've never posted, and now you're trying to post, a couple of times a week and story every day. Like, who are you? And to be honest, that was a fear of mine because I didn't know what people would think of me and things. And like now, looking at it now, I'm like, why did I ever let that hold me back? But I think it's also because I see all of the success from it. And so I'm sort of like, I don't really care, but that's me now. That wasn't me when I started, right? And then also, I think so many people, I hear often that sharing a product or selling a product, that is the beauty of this business. I actually did Stella & Doc for 2.5 years. If you're familiar with it, it's jewelry. I always felt like I was selling. You really never saw me post. If you followed me way back then, which none of you guys did, but you would have never seen me post about it because I felt like I was selling. Because for me, you sort of were like, you're selling a piece of jewelry, right? This, you're not selling, guys. You're sharing a lifestyle. People can come or people cannot come. You're sharing a lifestyle. You're not pushing a product in people's faces. You're not pushing like Shakeology. I was so fearful when I signed up. That was my number one thing. I was like, here's the deal. I actually had never done Beachbody workouts. I literally signed up as a coach and never had done a workout at Beachbody. I just knew I wanted to do this fitness route as a job. And so I was like, whatever, I'm going to make it work because this is going to work for me because it's online, which is what I needed. But Shakeology I'd never tasted. And I was like, I'm not going to push this in front of people's faces. And I learned you don't. Like, you share about it. And honestly, now I can't imagine not using it. And so now I think it's also more credible because I'm sort of like, I love it. And so, I fell in love with it myself. But neither Courtney nor I, we might share it occasionally, during the week, like this is our favorite drink, but it's not a daily thing. It's not like, here, let me push this product in front of you. I think also a big fear is time commitment, which we will lead into that. I'm going to let Courtney take over on that in a second. But time commitment's a huge one. And guys, we're going to go into that, but it's not what you think. And then I think just in a general standpoint, people people being fearful of what others think. I think that's probably the number one thing, is just like having such this fear and of like, well, what if I fail? What if, like, what are people going to think of me? You know, all of those things. And I get it because I was there. And then I also look at it now and I'm like, I can't imagine if I didn't take the risk and take the jump. And, you know, it's one of those things like and you worry so much about what we post, but honestly, no one else is really paying that much of attention. They don't care as much as we all care about our own selves, right? So anyways, Courtney, is there any other fears and misconceptions you can think of that you can share?
No, I think you hit them. Like, and the thing with that is, like, guys, like, we're talking about social media and things. We didn't do any of that stuff. That stuff is all things that we had to learn. And so just like any other job, like, you learn these things as you go. So don't think like, okay, God, I don't even know where to start. Like, we will definitely help you along the way. So,
Or like posting workouts, like that's something
yeah.
like it can come. We can help you how to do that. Like I had some of my coaches will speed up their workouts
Pistol.
because they're not comfortable posting real time workouts. Like there's ways around that.
Right.
So okay, so then let's lead into time commitment.
Right.
And Courtney, since you are a full-time teacher and have ran this business,
Right.
I'm going to let you take over and I'll close it out.
Perfect. Okay. So yes, time commitment. I know that when people are like, oh my God, like, I don't know how you do that. So the thing with this business is it's your own business. So that's the beauty of it. If you are like, you put in what you want to get out. So if you are like, I want this to replace my income right now, then you're going to have to put a little bit more time into it. Obviously, you're not going to put 8 hours a day in there. That's not what I'm saying at all. But there are some people who just want to do this as a hobby, just want to get their products paid for, just want to make a couple $100s a month, just want to get a house cleaner for the month or that kind of things to cover those like luxury things, I guess. So it just depends on what you want to be. For me, I was like, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do something that obviously it's going to start out as supplemental, obviously, because you don't just wake up in the first month, you're making $2,000 or $3,000. Like that just doesn't happen. And that's what I want you to understand too. Everything that is built well is built slowly. Just like weight loss, when you're trying to lose that weight, if you lose it quick, that is not something that can be sustainable. Just like this, just like any other business. So there is going to be that growth. There are going to be some growing pains, yes, but we help you like navigate through that kinds of stuff. So the first month, our goal is for you to help 3 or 5 people a month start on their health and fitness journey. And so the first month we say, okay, you buy a challenge pack for $160, you're going to get that back. So you're never like out. And kind of what Christine was saying, like if you open any other brick and mortar business, you pretty much don't profit until about 5 years. Like, no, you profit the first month with Beachbody because that is what we set your goal as. No matter if you're a hobby coach, no matter if you are like taking it to the top coach, right? So for me, yes, I am a full-time teacher and 3 kids. And at the time, just 2 kids when I first started, but I was pregnant and it was football season and my husband's a football coach. So like, I didn't have a lot of time. So the way that I did it is when I first started, it was like an hour a day. And it was like a power hour where I had a to-do list and I was just cranking things out. And guys, the great thing about this business is we tell you the things that you need to do every day. We actually have something called a BAT, which is a business activity tracker. I know, I think do I keep freezing? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I see Christine freezing and I'm like, is it just me?
I came into my bedroom because I thought it was me.
Okay.
Like my internet, but I don't know if it's me or if it's you, but something keeps freezing.
It may be me. Okay. We'll see if it happens again and then I'll move. So we actually have something called the business activity tracker, and it's literally like what you need to do every single day. So you're never going to sit down and be like lost in the sauce, don't know what to do. And I've made business trackers that fit me specifically for different phases of my business. And I've shared some others that I found from other coaches that work well for them. So you're never going to just sit down and be lost. You always have a to-do list. So this business activity tracker it's geared to do like for an hour. But obviously if you have higher goals, then you're going to do more of some specific things, right? So you can start this business at 1 hour a day. And as you grow and as you figure out like where your goals want to be, and in different phases, you may be working a little bit more. There's certain times of your business. Sorry, I don't know if anybody can hear my kid, but she's crying now. But there's different seasons of your business where it's like a push season. So that may be the time where you're like really pushing for a rank advancement. You're really pushing for just a specific goal that you need to hit by a certain time. And those are the times where you look at your husband and you're like, I need to work like 1 more hour tonight or 30 minutes more tonight. Like you need to put the kids to bed. But that's not all the time. Okay. And me and Christine's thing has always been with our business is the moment that, is it freezing?
Yeah. You just froze during that whole time. I was getting ready to type.
Okay. Here, hold on. Let me move. Hold on. And we're going to pass the door where my kid is screaming. So just ignore that.
Courtney, if you need to, I will continue time commitment.
No, she's fine. She's fine. Okay, let me sit right here. I don't know where my husband is. Okay. Is that better so far?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're still blurry, so we'll find out as you start talking.
Okay, cool. So, one of me and Christine's biggest thing is like the moment we get so overwhelmed, or just because like we as moms, all of us are moms out there, right? We get so overwhelmed with things and stuff, and we just are like, we don't know if we're doing everything. The moment this business is not joyful for us, we take a step back. So we always try to make sure that we enjoy this and that it's not taking away from our quality of life, because we joined it for those reasons. So I want you to understand that yes, this is a business. Come on, needy dog. But also this is something that brings us joy and that we are helping others. So we want to make this joyful. We don't want to take it away from our family, like our time. And that's definitely, like this business we try to separate our business time from our kid time. So it's never like you never see your kids at night because you're doing this business. It's literally like you put the kids down, and me and my husband have had certain times where it's like tonight is a night where I'm working. Tomorrow night is just a me and you time. And there's just that time where if you are like, I want to make this double or match my income, then you just have to make those sacrifices, but you just have to prioritize as well. And so we'll kind of teach you how to do that, because I've been through the valleys and the hills with all of the time management things. So I can literally give you the success tracker and say, here you go. Let's reevaluate and things like that. So don't let time commitment scare you, because when we say we're almost matching our teaching salary here in Texas, because I am as well, we're not working. I'm not working even 2 hours a day because I just can't. I don't have the time unless I'm going to stay up at night, late at night, which is still very not possible for me at this time. And that's only during push season. So just know that. Christine, were you going to say something?
Yeah, I'll wrap up time commitment.
Perfect.
So I think the biggest thing is like Courtney's done this with her teaching, and she's literally a full-time teacher. I do not have a full-time job. I do stay at home, so I do think sometimes people are like, oh, time commitment, you have all day long. I'm like, not really. I actually feel like I have a full-time job because my children are at home. My oldest is now going to pre-K. I do, Madeline went to school for her 7th time in her life today since she's been born. So I'm just now starting to get to where I will have a little bit more time than I've ever had. But here's the thing. I've grown this business for a year now. And honestly, during the mass amounts of COVID that we had kids home March through now. And so I think that honestly, it is exactly what Courtney said. And I'm going to wrap this up so we can move on to the next thing. But exactly what Courtney said. You put into it what you want out of it. So during certain seasons of both of our businesses, we definitely have worked more than an hour a day because there's a lot going on. There's people coming to us. We are needing to answer people. I'm helping a coach. Like when I launch new coaches, Courtney and I both have a lot more on our plate because we want our coaches to be successful. And so at the end of the time, at the end of the day, it's one of those things like that's super important to us. And so I'm going to be spending more time on my business. But like right now, I'm not spending as much time on my business currently as I was over the summer, just because it's different push seasons. We have 9 minutes left.
Right.
Courtney.
Okay.
So we're gonna like speed this up. Okay. So income and then cost and are like the next steps.
Right.
So we sort of have touched on that. So income though, just on a short basis, you will not make money overnight. You will not make money over the first couple of months. Like, I mean, you will, but like it's gonna be slow. I would say that year plus mark is really where you start going, okay, this is like good income, but it takes time to build there. So just the general basis. For each person that you sign up as a challenge pack, which is what you do, and they pay the $160 for the whole year, you get around $40 to $50 per person. And I say around because it always depends on if there's a special or what's going on at that period of time. But it's like 25%. So usually it's $45, $50, okay? So think of it like that per person. Then anytime anyone reorders Shakeology, you either get, if they're like a regular customer, you get a just,
25%.
what am I trying to say? Just sort of like something, you make 25% of what they buy. Sorry, my brain is not thinking. You make 25% of what they buy. If they're like a discount member or like a coach or whatever, it becomes a Team Cycle bonus. You don't need to get into that, but you will. Like Courtney and I Team Cycle bonus really well at this point too, just because of customers and things like that. And that's where the residual income comes in. And that's what's super nice is you're not constantly having to just, continue just going crazy, but you're still making really good money and still only selling about the same amount of challenge packs a month as you were at the very beginning, if that makes sense. And then, so about 50, 20, and then like I said, 25% off of anyone's product purchase. Anything else, Courtney, on income?
So really, you make commission off of products you sell, and then there's something called volume, and she mentioned it, Team Cycle bonus, and really that's just your current challengers or the challengers. You make money off of the amount that's kind of like tucked in from previous. So those are the two ways that you make money in Beachbody.
And so I think the last thing, because I want to open it up for you guys to ask any questions since we have 3 of you guys in here right now, is just the cost and the next step. So like if you're like, okay, great, this sounds awesome, like what do I do now though? So I'm not for sure exactly, Courtney, your 2 girls and then mine.
They're challengers, yeah.
And so what we would do is we would change you over to a coach, okay? It's free to change you to a coach because you already have a challenge pack that you've purchased previously. So what it does is a $39 cost, but we will get you credited that back within 48 hours. So it's literally free to sign you up as a coach. And then we just get you coaching. So obviously, like in the way of cost, I'm just trying to share costs first, not next steps, but cost is pretty much free. The thing about monthly costs, because that's the biggest thing people always ask me. So if you're looking for this to be a business, I would tell you need to be a product of the product. And so that means purchasing your Shakeology. So like I would go ahead and count in that $90 a month plus your $15 coach fee. So it really comes out to about $115 with shipping and everything. So that's about the cost of monthly. It's $115. If you needed a month that you needed to just be active, that's just $50 plus your $15 fees. So we can always work with you on that. I'm just a big person of you should be a product of the product. You want to be doing what your customers are doing, what you're asking them to do. So that would be purchasing your shakes.
Right.
And then next steps, Courtney and I both, like, we pretty much run our businesses together. So we have literally, like, if one of our, we help each other so much, but we both have our own team page. We both, a lot of times, launch our coaches together. So, like, we run
coach mentorship
programs together. So a lot of times we'll run like a week or two long to launch all of our new coaches, so that way we're doing it together. So honestly, you will be given every single tool that is literally possible. And here's the amazing thing. I honestly believe that a lot of my success is because of the team that we're on. So Holly is our person who runs like the whole overall big, huge team. She is the number one coach in the network, guys. There's 450,000 coaches, and she is the number one in the company. That is what I truly attest my success off of, is because we get to see what she does. We're given the tools. She gives Courtney and I both talk to her. She'll meet with us like on a Zoom call if we need help with something. I attest the success to her because she is given every single thing. She's already walked the path. She's been doing this for 6 years. She knows what's going to help you be successful and what's not. And so that's what I think truly has made us successful inside this business, is being a part of that. So Courtney, anything before we open up questions?
No, I think you did. I think we talked about it. So do any of you girls have any questions?
Silence. I just want to always make for sure that.
Oh yeah. Especially like while it's like fresh on your brain. So y'all can you don't have to like turn your video on, but you can like unmute yourself if you have any questions.
I think Sarah unmuted herself.
Cool.
Sarah, do you have a question?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I unmuted myself. I don't really have any questions right now. I just wanted to say you guys did a good job. And thank you. It's very helpful.
Oh, you're so sweet.
I mean, I think of a million questions all the time. And I'm like, oh, I should message Christine. But then I keep thinking, like, literally, like, Courtney, I know I don't know you, but literally everything you were saying pretty much sounds like where I'm at right now, because I've literally followed girls that have done this for like 5 years.
Isn't that funny?
And I've been a huge gym rat until COVID. I was always saying, I'm never going to work out at home. I'm not a workout at home person. I'm not. I love the gym. And then I couldn't go to the gym. So now I'm home, and I just had another baby. So I've got 4 kids at home. And I'm like,
I was like, Courtney, she just had her 4th one. So.
Oh, bless you. Oh, geez.
It's not feasible right now to go to the gym.
No.
I mean, I was doing 5 a.m. workouts already at the gym, and that's fine. But newborn life, it's not happening right now.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. So I mean, it was like all the same thing. I'm like, I've watched girls do this for so long, but I've never been a person to work out at home. So I didn't think that it would ever.
Me too, Sarah. That's exactly. I actually never worked out at home until the first 2 weeks that I started promoting. It's so funny to me because I never even tried the freaking workouts. Like, I literally was like, well, I'm just going to make this work, because I wanted to get out of the gym and having to take Matt to that time slot and make $20. And so I was literally was like, I'm going to make this work. And I still laugh at myself because I will tell you, most coaches that join are people like all of you guys who have tried the workouts. Then you've got me, and I was just like, I'm just going for it. Like one of those things that is because I thought I would never work out at home. I was like, no, I had been in the gym world since I was 20 years old. I was like, I'm not going to work out at home. Who does that? Well, here I am with 2 little ones, and it works because I can work when I want to work, and that's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Being able to be there for them, but still be able to make some money doing it. You know what I mean?
Right. Oh, Sarah, thank you so much for hopping on. That means a lot. And I just anyways, we only have it limits us. We have like a minute and 15 seconds. Does anyone else have any questions?
Sarah, you just voiced me. Courtney's girls, you voice Courtney if you guys have questions, because it's so easy for us to voice back through Instagram or text message or whatever.
Yes. Okay, girls, thank you so much for hopping on. We'll get in contact with you girls to answer any last minute questions or anything like that. But guys, thank you so much for popping on. Like, it means the world.
Yeah, taking your time, because I know it's time. So
I know.
We appreciate you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.